I didn't walk into the Port Liberty Jet Center to start a fight. I walked in to stand under a ceiling of polished aluminum and remember what the sky feels like, that clean hum only airplanes and church choirs can make when everything is lined up just right. I had a plastic grocery bag with a turkey sandwich, a thermos, a photo of me in a green flight suit, from way back. Nothing fancy. Nothing. That screams, "Look at me." Then Chase Langford laughed across the hangar and turned me into the evening's entertainment fly, It. "And it's yours," he said loud enough to rattle the doors, and the room chuckled like Money had just told a joke that everyone was scared not to laugh at. I looked at the Falcon 8X instead of him, paint so glossy, it looked wet. Winglets like razor blades. The kind of machine that doesn't care who you are as long as you respect it. People saw a black woman with a plastic bag and filled in a story I didn't write. You know what I mean? Security drifted closer, a sales director in a navy blazer, Tasha Morales, gave me a small warning shake of the head like, "Please don't take the bait." But I've flown through weather that wanted to fold me in half. A loud man with a dare is not the worst thing I've seen. Chase strutted. He added conditions like he was stacking the deck. "You fail, and you'll apologize on your knees. You'll pay for the mess. You'll admit people like you don't belong here." And the way the words, "people like you," slid across the concrete told me everything I needed to know about his education. I set my bag down, smoothed my thrift store blazer, felt my pulse drop to the place where procedures live. "All right," I said, "let's make your joke interesting. You honor your word when I don't fail." And the chuckles thinned into that weird quiet when a room realizes the target knows how to shoot back. Someone asked how many hours I had on YouTube. I said 44 years, and folks laughed again, until they heard how still my voice was. You learn a lot about a soul by how they treat a checklist. I didn't perform. I didn't tap the airplane like it was a prop. I walked the nose to the tail like I've done more times than I can count. Static ports, clear. Pitot covers off tires. Clean actuators, dry. Leading edges, honest. And the murmur in the hangar changed color. A few people leaned in without meaning to. Brett, Chase's buddy with the phone, kept filming, but the camera didn't feel so cocky anymore. I climbed the stairs, stowed the bag, took the left seat, because I know where I belong. The panel woke up in a calm wash of glass and numbers batteries on IRS to nav fuel, cross-check, APU start gen online control, synoptics, green, not rushing, not dragging, just the old two-step that gets you home. Tasha hovered by the door. "Ma'am, if this goes sideways," he doesn't play sideways, "isn't where I'm headed." I told her, "What's your name, Tasha? Thank you for caring." And I meant it, because warning is a kind of love. Chase tried for one last flourish from the top stair, "Before you smudge my cockpit with those hands. Let's add a rule. When you choke, you'll say out loud, 'I do not belong here.'" And Walter O'Neill, the silver-haired man with a conscience tucked in his side pocket, said, "Easy." Chase let it go, but Chase couldn't hear it over his own spotlight. I looked past them all and keyed the mic. "Port Liberty ground, Falcon November 7-3 Sierra at Jet Center. Request taxi for a short local, 15 minutes full stop." And the reply came back smooth as a runway. "At dawn taxi, via Alpha to 17, welcome back." Captain Carter, you could feel 100 lungs forget how to breathe. Tasha's hand flew to her mouth. Brett's camera stuttered. Chase tried to laugh and found nothing in the drawer. "Who are you?" he whispered softer now, like the script had gone missing. And I didn't answer, because some truths you let the airplane say for you. "Taxi out checks done, hold short, cleared for takeoff, wind 160 at 6. And there's a point where intention turns into commitment. You push the throttles, stabilize, push again. The turbines sing the right note. The airspeed walks up the tape, V. One rotate and the ground slips away like it's agreeing with you, yeah. That happened. I kept it modest. Patterns turns a clean approach. This wasn't about showing off, it was about removing luck from the conversation. Victory isn't cheering, victory is a turbine breathing right, and a nose that goes where you ask without complaint. Touchdown, like a promise kept, spoilers, kiss, brakes, smooth exit at Bravo taxi, back with my smile tucked away, because some smiles are private systems down one by one, until the airplane sighs like a house going to sleep. Then steps to concrete, and a silence that had nothing to do with shame, and everything to do with finally seeing what was in the room. Chase was on his knees, not worship math. Every number that said, "I am in charge," suddenly adding up to 0. I held out the keys and told him to keep his airplane. This was never about owning a machine. It was about learning what it costs to judge someone by the cheapest thing about them. He looked up and asked why I didn't say who I was. I could have said, because you didn't ask. I could have said, because you wouldn't have believed me until aluminum told you to. What I said was, if I had, you would have missed the point. The video ran wild, like videos do, comments argued like comments do. Some folks cheered. Some called it a setup. Some tried to grade my procedures from their couches. Brands called papers, called a morning show, called the Jet Center, asked if I'd talk to girls who look up when a plane passes and wonder if the sky will have them. That one made me put the phone down and take a breath. Chase called a month later without handlers. We met at a coffee shop where the barista slides me an extra napkin because hot lids lie. He looked tired and said he was sorry. "Without that slippery, if you were offended clause," he said. Yes had been said to him so often, he started confusing it with right. He said his son watched the video and asked, "Is this who we are?" And I told him there are apologies that heal and apologies that hope to reset the scoreboard. This one can heal something if you let it cost you. "What should it cost?" he asked, and I said, "Make a runway where there isn't one. Not asphalt opportunity, put money. Where simulator time is, put your ego. Where scholarships live, help the kids who never see themselves on a flight deck. See themselves in a classroom first," he said. All right, wrote a check that didn't bounce, showed up to listen, and that mattered more than the number. Tasha and I built a program with the Jet Center. Walter donated a sim block and a scholarship in his mother's name because we all come from someplace worth saying out loud. Brett made a follow-up video that wasn't a gotcha, but a quiet record of smaller, stubborn actions that actually moved the needle. Not everybody bought it. There were threads about whether men like Chase change or just change scenery. I don't pretend to know the clock in another person's chest. I know people are not statues. We make turns, sometimes we overshoot, and correct sometimes we don't. Redemption doesn't run on your schedule or mine. The classroom got a plaque. Not just my name, but Captain Denise Hargrove, who talked me calm through a starless approach, and Staff Sergeant Mariah Bostich, who put a wrench in my hand and said, "If you're going to fly it, you're going to understand it." We held an open house. Kids in hoodies touched yokes like hymn books. A little girl with beads asked if clouds feel like pillows, and I told her the truth, they feel like decisions. She grinned like somebody handed her clearance. Some folks said I let Chase off easy by handing the keys back. Some said I should have taken the jet and turned arrogance into fuel for 1,000 takeoffs. Some said humiliation is the only teacher that shows up on time. Here's what I know: vengeance is loud, and it stalls early. Dignity climbs steady and crosses whole continents. You pick your aircraft. Most nights I still mop those floors to a shine, and every now and then a pilot nods the way pilots do when they recognize one of their own. Every now and then a kid wanders in with runway eyes, and I keep a spare headset in my locker, because if the sky wants to talk, I'm not about to shush it. And if you're wondering whether I'd take the bet again, If someone rewound the tape, yes, not to watch a man learn gravity for the girl with the beads, for the boy who wrote. Asking if 40 is too late to start for the barista, who told me she never thought about who flies until she heard me say decisions. If you made it this far, tell me this in the comments. Was I right to hand the keys back? Or should I have taken the jet and turned that night into a fund that would outlive us all? Do people like Chase change or just change rooms? Have you ever been judged by the cheapest thing about you and had to prove your worth in a room that wanted you small? Share your story. Push back if you need to tag someone who needs to hear that. Clouds aren't pillows, they're decisions, and we're all cleared for takeoff when we're ready.